What's up, guys? It's your boy Josh Showtime. You already know this is Showtime's Fight Forum where we talk all things fight. Now, hold on. Let me get to the side a little bit. I'm over here a little offset. There we go. Let's get it. So, today's conversation is going to be for something I was wrong about. Hey, look, and I'm happy to be wrong. This is what combat sports is for. This is for, like, if it's predictable, who cares? Who wants to see it? I was completely wrong. All right? And that is Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. All right, this is a fight that I completely slept on Tommy Fury, and honestly, I had every reason to. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I should have checked the facts. I should have done this. I've seen Tommy Fury fight multiple times. He was never good, and granted, he still ain't good. However, what I seen between Jake and who he's fought, you ask me again, I still would have took Jake Paul just to educate a guess. I mean, most people pick Jake for a reason. And it's crazy. The one time I picked this dude, I think Jake Paul out of the 7 or 8 fights that he's had. I think I picked Jake Paul to win 3 or 4 of them. And then this one is the one I'm wrong on. Whatever, I would have never guessed. But there's a few things that struck out to me. One, Tommy did move and it was a lot more active than I thought he would have been. I don't think I've seen him in an 8-round fight. I think before he was doing like 6 or 4-rounders. And his cardio was honestly pretty terrible. But in this fight, like no joke, he had room to go. Like that 8th round when he got put on the canvas, he got back up, he went to work on Jake. And that was impressive. Now I'm gonna give you my opinion about the whole fight in general. One, it was pretty entertaining. All right, some people saying it was boring. I don't think it was boring. There was a lot of hugging in the beginning, and that was a lot of clinch work that was happening via Paul. He was standing his ground, and then he just, was smart to cover up and grab. But he did that a little too much for me. Point deductions were stupid. Neither one deserved point deductions. I understand the warnings, especially with the holding. There was a lot of that happening a little too much. But I thought that was a makeup call to take a point away for Tommy. That it didn't make sense at all. That referee sucked. I could have done a way better job. So call me if that's what you're gonna do. Then also, another thing I realized is that Jake is like, well, I already said it before, Jake's not a good boxer. And he's not. We gotta cut this noise. I'm tired of hearing these outlets saying, he's still pretty good. He did really good versus a real boxer. Tommy is not a good boxer. He's not. No one considers him a real boxer in the actual boxing community. Like, no, not a single one. Y'all just saying that because his last name's Fury. His brother, once again, 300 pounds on crack. That guy, he's a boxer. He's a legitimate boxer. All right, the best in his generation at heavyweight. Tommy's not that. So I respect everybody getting in the ring, doing what they got to do, but we got to stop with these names y'all trying to give and this credit, y'all. It's extra credit y'all trying to give them. This is the first real boxer he's seen. No, it's not. Once again, Anderson was more accomplished. So I would call him more of a boxer than I would call Tommy. Once again, it's just the name y'all going off of. But at the same time, here's the thing that and I've said this the last fight with Jake. If Anderson would have had more output, he wins that fight easily. You knew who the better boxer was in that night, and it was honestly Anderson Silva. He just took his foot off the gas. Tyron Woodley. Jake was a better boxer, but at the same time, same issue. Tyron does not he puts no output. There's no combinations. There's no real boxing acumen with him. Ben Askren, we don't even need to talk about that. But like I said, man, like when it came to Anderson Silva, the issue always was volume. He would honestly start to piece him up pretty good. Jake Paul would get pieced up really well. And next thing you know, Anderson does nothing for 3 minutes. And it's like, all right. Tommy wasn't that guy. Tommy from the get-go, and I did not call this, Tommy from the get-go was active. He was jabbing so much, so often, throwing 1-2s, and constantly catching Jake Paul. Jake Paul does not have the best hand movement. He's very predictable with his head movement as well. One thing I noticed, he ducks a lot of his shots, and he tries to duck and set up that right hook that he throws way too often. He throws too often, it's too obvious that it's coming. And I already said, this is the reason why I said I don't think he'll be able to get Tommy out the way, because Tommy's young, but also he has been around boxing a good portion of his life. So just off of the IQ of him having his brother, his dad to feed off of, I knew he'll be able to survive that big right hand that honestly is his only shot that he offers, honestly. He caught Tommy with a left hook, a check hook often. It really didn't faze Tommy. Tommy was cool. And even the drop at 8, he was more off balance than he was hurt. He got right back up and he was like, bro, that don't count. What was that? It was a knockdown, fair knockdown. The punch did lead to the knockdown. But we all, like, if you pay attention, he wasn't hurt. He was off balance and got hit with a strong punch. But yeah, like, Jake is a still learning boxer, man. Like, he's only been doing it a few years. You gotta understand his levels to this. This is the thing that people try to tell you that actually have boxed. This takes decades of your craft. Floyd would be the first to tell you. There's a reason why he was like, yeah, I would never put my kids into boxing. That was too late. They're old. Like, they're not old. They're like 20, 22, 23. But it's too late to try to actually build up to a guy who's been doing it since they were 5. Like, there's too many holes in this. Honestly, it's just kind of like swimming in a way, where it's like, you know, it's easier to teach a kid how to swim than it is to teach an adult. When it comes to boxing, it's much easier to teach a kid how to box than it is an adult, just because they don't really know much. So they only know what you tell them. So you teach them the right thing, they have decades to be able to perfect that craft. Jake doesn't have that. So fair to him, and like I said, I have respect for Jake because he doesn't duck nobody. He does call people out, and he's got the balls to step in the ring, which a lot of people don't. So always power and respect to him, and for him to be able to put on his own events, and for him to also be able to pay for fighters. Like, that's also something that shouldn't be slept on. This dude's super young, and he's out here making a woman boxer who's older than him, who's been fighting way longer than him before he probably even thought about boxing, and he's making her a millionaire. Like, come on, man. He got Badu Jack out here in his cards. That's impressive. So power and respect to the Paul, just off the drinks, the fighting, everything that they're doing in reality. Like, it is like really cool that a young person is doing that. So once again, respect. But when we talk about boxing, and just boxing, this was gonna happen sooner or later. I just didn't think Tommy would be the guy to do it. But yeah, like I said, he got to work on head movement. He got to work. Jake Paul got a chin. I will also say that. If anybody asked me how I scored it, honestly, I thought that Jake Paul lost pretty easily. I thought that I gave Jake Paul maybe 3 rounds max. Like, in reality, I really think I gave it 6-2. And I thought Tommy won pretty cleanly. I mean, outside of the drop. And then round 3, I was like, yeah, I pretty much gave every round to Tommy. He was more active. He landed the better shots. And he landed the harder shots at times. And he stunned Jake a lot. And Jake did not want to get off combinations, which tells me he was kind of worried about the power, because like, there was no combination work at all for Jake. He was just pot shotting, then let's go for that hook. It was very predictable. But it was a good fight. I'm happy I saw it. I did not pay for it. I wasn't going to pay for it. I went to a bar that actually was showing the fight and watched it. It was a good time. So yeah, what's next? I mean, obviously they're gonna rematch each other. I think that going forward, this shows that Jake needs to stick in his lane. He needs to fight these KSI. He needs to fight these guys who, like these NFL players or NBA players or really old or retired fighters that want to try boxing, like a Chuck Liddell or something. Try these guys, because when you step foot with a real boxer, like a legitimate boxer, he might get killed. He's gonna get hurt really bad. Because if Tommy did that to you, I can only imagine a person like you want to call Canelo, like a person like Canelo would do to you. Like, do you not understand how bad of a beat? He wouldn't last 30 seconds against a person of his caliber. Even in 5 years, Canelo will be close to 40. He fights Canelo close to 40 and he'll be 30, which is pretty still in his peak. He's still getting knocked the hell out by Canelo. So yeah, it is what it is. But that's the difference in gap. Canelo was pro when he was 16. Like, went professional when he was 16. Started much younger compared to Jake Paul, who started when like 22, 23. But yeah, want to hear what you guys think though. Are you guys interested still in this? Because I'm not. I don't really care about this stuff. I said that it's cool to have, like, a little joke. I do like the fact that these celebrities and influencers do want to fight each other and stuff. I find it to be funny. It's comical. It's like a circus show. But I know the lure of Jake Paul is gone now. Like, what's he gonna do? Go to MMA? Like, that's his best bet, for real. But I know people still are gonna support him because, you know, he has a little fanboy club that he has, which is weird, but it is. But as always, man, make sure you like and subscribe, and thank you always for watching. We can continue to grow this brand and get more views and followers. And as you know, you feeling me? If you made some money off me, once again, you know, hit that cash out, man. Look, at Showtime Sanders, I'm your man. But as always, man, be blessed and have a good week.